Lead together, embrace change, enhance everyone's journey. The 3 core principles of SmartStop, a leader in self-storage real estate across North America, reinforce why we're proud to bring you SheEO Lead-In, the podcast featuring curated conversations with powerful women sharing their impactful wisdom. It's a self-knowledge, self-discovery, and self-preneurship audio storage vault created by and for women. SmartStop's presentation of SheEO Lead-In begins right now.
Have you ever felt that you as a woman may not appear to measure up when you see incredible women in strong roles? You may be surprised when hearing from women in these positions and how we all share many of the same challenges. Thank you for joining us for the SheEO Leading-In podcast with Rebecca Jones as we share the journeys of women.
Hello, I'm Rebecca Jones, your host of SheEO Lead-In. We are on an exploration together to discover more about the personal journeys of incredible women in both career and life. We all have paths to share that sometimes take incredible turns, deep resilience, and courage to navigate. My hopes are that the challenges shared here encourage women to take leaps of faith and growth when a journey feels too difficult or unachievable. There is great strength deep within each one of us. These stories are meant to share the ways strong women have taken their dreams to strive and thrive to new heights, despite their sometimes rocky paths, and found a way to lead in. Today we're here with Kelly Ayala with Moon Yakas. How are you today, Kelly?
I'm so good. I'm happy to be here, Rebecca.
I am very excited to hear your story because it's such a unique story. So your family, they started out with Frida's. Tell us a little bit about your childhood and what kind of led you to go out and forge your own way in the restaurant business yourself.
So my childhood was pretty busy. I started working at about 13, 14, and I was working all throughout high school. My parents started the taco business, and so that kept me very busy at the beginning. I didn't love it, but then I grew to love it, and now it's become a passion. And that led me to want to start my own business. Obviously, I love the taco business and what they do. However, I wanted to branch out and do something a little bit differently.
Something that's uniquely you.
Yes, something that I'm passionate about. My dad's passionate about tacos. I'm passionate about desserts.
Which I love both of them.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about you, and what is a word that you think describes you the best?
A word to describe me? I think it would be driven.
Yeah,
I think I'm pretty driven.
I'd agree. But you know, working so hard as a kid and then you being able to say, you know what, I really have a passion for desserts. I'm going to stay somewhat in the family business, however, kind of branch out on your own. So you have your own location, and then you also tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I have my location in Oceanside, 2035 Mission Avenue. And then from there, I deliver desserts to all the Frida's locations in Escondido, in Oceanside, Vista, and soon to be open San Marcos and Temecula. And then I do a pop-up on Tuesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays in Escondido location of Frida's. And then I also do caterings and events. So a little bit of everything.
I love that. So let's talk a little bit about how you started. You probably started experimenting a little bit. I'm sure you had successes and failures, but do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I've always loved baking. I think I grew up in the kitchen inherently, not only because my parents have a business, but the kitchen was instilled in both my brother and I from a very young age. My mom always thought it was important for us to be in the kitchen while she's cooking and learn and experiment, and she gave me the freedom to experiment with desserts and anything that I wanted to, and so that really created a passion in me to branch out and do something a little different.
So successes and failures. I too like baking, by the way. My famous mint cake, which is kind of funny, my family talks about it. It was so bad that the dog wouldn't even eat it. It was so bad. I used so much mint extract. I didn't know. I was like, oh, I'll just add a little more. I'll just add a little more. And it tasted okay. But then when it got baked, it was so awful that the dog wouldn't even eat it. So do you have any failures like that?
Yes, I have so many. I mean, I wouldn't be here today if I didn't make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
Just your basic messing up on recipes and trying again and experimenting on what works best, what tastes best, what looks best. Many failures. Many things to learn from. I wouldn't say failures, but I've learned a lot.
Exactly. That's what I was actually going to bring up. So, I think it's very interesting how young you are and how driven you are, but also how successful you are. And so let's talk a little bit about this, because when I first met you, I was thinking, she's so impressive. I mean, you really are. You're so impressive.
Thank you.
So, what really propelled you to say, you know what, I'm going to do this on my own? And then also, there's a part of, you're very young, and I don't want to keep saying that, but how do you balance, things that 20-something-year-olds like to do, and then also, the seriousness of business?
Yeah, it's been really hard, but I think, and anyone that knows my story knows it's not a typical story for a 21-year-old. I started, honestly, because I got sick at around 18. I was diagnosed with lupus, and that sent me into a spiral, and it really made me rethink all my decisions and what my future was going to look like, what I was going to do. At that point, I had been working with my parents for a long time, and sorry.
No, it's good. And thank you for sharing this with us. It's very special, because I think your story is very inspiring.
Thank you. Sorry, I don't talk about it a lot. So I was diagnosed, and then I wasn't working for about 5 months, which was really hard for me, because at that point I had been working since I was about 13, 14, and I didn't know what it was like to not be going to school, not be working, and I was honestly just like on bed rest for like 4 months. And so my mom was my biggest supporter, and we were bouncing ideas. We had been bouncing ideas for a long time about starting a business together and doing something. And the opportunity came up when a friend of my dad's asked him if he knew anyone that was interested in buying his shop. And he called me immediately, and he said, I have an opportunity for you. Are you interested? And I said, yes, of course, without hesitation, without even thinking about it. Because I needed something to do, something to get my mind off of being sick, not doing anything. And that's what led me to start my business.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us, and, the transparency, because, again, having issues, a lot of people deal with health issues, and then they think, oh, well, I can't move forward. I can't do it. And you're proof that you can. And you can succeed, and really super proud of you. So you have people working for you, I'm assuming.
I do.
Yes. So what is it like? And do you have barriers that you see with men working for you, or do you have all women working for you? What does that look like?
I have all women staff.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to get a man to be in pink uniform. But I have my brother and my dad who, whether they like it or not, they help me a lot with the heavy lifting or anything that I need them. But it's mostly women.
So do you have any barriers when you're talking to like suppliers or anyone like that? Because you're young.
Oh, yes.
You're beautiful.
Thank
and
you.
Smart.
Thank you.
And then also, driven. What do you see as far as, those sorts of barriers?
Yeah, what I've noticed is that I do need to, one, stand my ground and be very mindful of everything that I say, how I look, how I dress, how I act with, like you said, suppliers. Because I'm so young, I I think people kind of take advantage of me, whether they like to admit it or not. Um, and I just have to be careful. I have to be one step ahead because I am a woman, because I am so young, and my parents have really taught me that.
So let's talk about role models, and I think I know the answer to this.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about mentors and role models.
Definitely my parents,
Yeah, I figured.
100%. My grandfather as well is a business owner, and just the women in my family. I come from a long line of very strong, powerful, and driven women, and I think that's where I get it from. I think it's just in me. But mostly my parents. My parents have taught me everything that I know. They are my inspiration. They are, yeah, they're everything to me.
Oh, I love that. So let's, there's a lot of lessons that I think we all learn in business. And I think you probably learned a lot from your parents and their business. And by the way, let's just mention too, during the pandemic, they had to do a little bit of being nimble. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Can you repeat the question?
Well, when you're talking about, during the pandemic, storefronts were not quite the way that they are today. So they were kind of being flexible. They started in farmers markets, right?
Yes. So we started in farmers markets. We were doing about 10 farmers markets a week, and it was very difficult, but very rewarding. It made us learn a lot of lessons. And then during the pandemic, everything shut down. So we were not working, no farmers markets, no anything. And I think I get the drive of not sitting when things are hard or when it seems like there's no way, because they're very much like that. Instead of saying, you know what, we don't have a job, what are we going to do, and freaking out, they got up and they looked for places, and we stumbled upon Escondido, not by accident. And then we started the restaurant in 2020, I believe. So right when the pandemic was hitting.
So let's get back to that in just a moment. We're going to take a smart stop.
SmartStop knows the winning connection is when we elevate success together. SmartStop Self Storage, a California company with nearly 200 properties and over 15 million square feet of rentable storage in the US and Canada, is committed to positively impacting the communities we serve on the national and local level. By aligning our core principles of leading together, embracing change, and enhancing everyone's journey with local initiatives focused on education, health, and social welfare, we all elevate together. Through financial and strategic partnerships with nonprofits and prestigious organizations such as Cloudcast Media, Arrow McLaren IndyCar, Breast Cancer Research Foundation, Wounded Warrior Project, USC Athletics, the Brampton Steelheads, MMA fighters and boxers, and other unique athletes, we aim to foster a sense of unity and pride within the communities we serve, creating a shared identity and generating a positive atmosphere. To learn more about our core values, our locations, and career opportunities, please visit us at smartstopselfstorage.com. SmartStop, elevating success together.
So the pandemic hit. They had to pivot, and they decided that they were not giving up. And a lot of businesses went out of business during the pandemic, especially restaurants, because there was this whole closing and opening and closing and opening. So talk a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
Yes. We actually had another restaurant before the restaurant in Escondido, and it didn't end up working out because of the pandemic. For whatever reason, it didn't end up working out. and we got to experience that shock of COVID. But in Escondido, we were so blessed, so very blessed with the community. That's the same year that we opened, actually, we had a car crash into the restaurant twice. So one time it hit the side of the restaurant, and then the second time it went all the way in about like an inch, almost into the kitchen. And that was very devastating for the whole family. But the community really came together. A lot of people donated. A lot of people were supporting. We were on the news. And so the community has been so good to us in Escondido since the moment we were there. We got there.
Your family is so hospitable and so warm. And I can see that. Yeah, I think you have a following now. I think it's this whole culture of, and now that you have your own thing going with your desserts and whatnot, I think that that's something that will just last for a very long time.
Thank you.
So let's talk about, you walk into a room, there are young women in there that are looking at you and they're really inspired by you. What would be some lessons that you've learned that you would share with them so that they could apply to their own lives?
I think my top lesson would be to choose your heart. I think life is definitely not easy. And there's, sorry, I'm trying to think of how to word it. Yeah, my parents always tell me, choose your heart. It's going to be hard to not have money, but it's going to be hard to also start your own business. It's going to be hard to go to the gym, but it's going to be hard to not go to the gym and feel poorly about yourself.
Right.
So I think it's important to choose your heart and choose what path you want to go on.
And try things, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Because I think a lot of, and I hear this time and time again, that many of our listeners think, I can't do that. But almost every single one of my guests has always said, I feel like I was the biggest obstacle of success because I was too afraid to try.
Absolutely. I think also another thing is definitely believing in yourself, believing in your product, believing in your vision. I think as a woman, sometimes it's hard because you have people constantly telling you that you can't, or because X, Y, and Z, that you won't go as far as a man or as this person. And comparison is always relevant with women. I'm not sure why, but I think it's important to believe in yourself, and if you have a vision, stick with it and keep going.
And there's always going to be someone, this is what I always tell people, there's always going to be someone that is more this or more that, or younger or smarter or more educated or able to do things differently than us. But I think the beauty of women is that we are unique and each one of us has something beautiful to offer the world.
Absolutely.
And we're so much stronger together when we're, encouraging other women. Because when we all rise, we actually do so much better because we create the community, the village, as I call it, in success. And, really having a different vision than just have it be all about ourselves. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's definitely something I've learned too. Something I'm continuing to learn as I go on this journey. My parents have taught me to learn how to ask for help, how and when to ask for help, because sometimes being an independent woman and being an entrepreneur, you think that you have to have it all together all the time. You think that you have to know it all and do it all yourself. But the truth is, if you want to, there's a quote that says, if you want to go far, or if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And that's very true. Yeah, just don't let your pride get in the way and know how to ask for help.
And, that is a really good point, because how did you even find out how to get all the paperwork done and all of those things? I mean, getting permits, it's a lot of work.
Yeah. My parents, my mom, she handles all the administrative things for her business, and so she was the one who helped me with all the permits, all the legal things, all the accounting and all of that. I'm so grateful for her.
And how did she learn? I'm curious about that. She probably, it's a lot of trial and error.
Trial and error, yeah. As I had mentioned before, my grandpa owns a business as well. He owned business since she was young. So she grew up sort of like me, learning from her dad and involved in that business world. So she had some of an idea, but trial and error as well.
Well, I think that's a lot, when you start a business and being an entrepreneur, that, again, back to the point of most people are afraid to try it. Did you ever think about what your next move, or what is your next move? What are you going to do next? I really want to hear kind of where you're going with that.
My next move is I just want to grow my business as much as I can. I'm not really sure what that means for me right now, but I just know that whatever opportunities come my way, I'm all there. I'm all in. I don't have like a set goal, because I learned that from my parents as well. Just kind of go with the flow of things. Whatever is meant to happen is going to happen. And you just, if you stay focused, if you stay driven, things are going to naturally come to you. Opportunities will open to you. Keep networking, keep meeting people, keep opening doors for yourself.
So what's your favorite thing to make?
My favorite thing to make is the flan.
That's my favorite.
So good.
Yeah, it is so good.
Or the choco flan. It's chocolate cake with flan together.
Oh.
They call it the impossible cake.
Because it's tough to make, or?
Yes, because you put it in at the same time. And it's the flan on the bottom, and then the cake on the top, and then in the oven. It switches.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be, I don't know that I've ever had that.
It's a little tricky, yeah.
It is a little tricky.
It's very good.
So how many tries did it take for you to perfect that?
Oh, I don't know. I couldn't count them. I malfunctions with the oven and malfunctions with the sugar, and I couldn't count them.
So have you made something that you created from scratch that isn't an actual recipe that people are familiar with?
From scratch?
Just like, I think this and that will go together. I don't know.
Right now I have different versions of the tres leches cake. So there's the traditional vanilla tres leches cake. And right now I have a couple different versions. I have a chocolate one, I have a strawberry one, I have an Oreo one, and people are really liking it.
So I love the whole, how your family started a business, you started a business. What do you think when you become a parent? If you become a parent, I don't know if you are, but what about, thinking about what happens with your business as you get older and, passing it on to another family member, or, bringing more people along with you? Do you ever think about that?
I do. I think about that a lot because of my parents. My parents made sure that both me and my brother are very involved in the business in every step of the way. Every opening day, every business decision. And so I think that's very important to grow as a family, as a business, personally. And I definitely want to instill that in my children, hopefully one day. I think that's very important for everyone to be involved, everyone to have an opinion. And if they want to, obviously. They never pushed anything on us or forced anything. It was just, I don't know, we were all part of something big and exciting.
Yeah. So I think I know the answer to this, but what are your thoughts about franchising at some point in time or keeping it a family business? Because
Franchising with my business or with Frida's?
No, with yours.
I would love to.
Oh, you would?
Yes.
Oh, see, I was going to say no. Just because I was thinking I think you would want to have control of it because you've got to have, the whole, we were talking about this a little bit earlier about, having the consistency and all of that. How do you see yourself doing that? Or, maybe that's something you just would have to kind of look into at a later date. But I don't know,
yeah, to look into it. I definitely want to grow my business and have many more locations. I've seen La Michoacana. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that franchise. They have a lot in different states, and they're very popular. So I would love for people in different states or different parts of the country to kind of have a taste of what I have to offer.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And as far as wedding cakes go and your catering, do you do wedding cakes?
I don't do wedding cakes.
Okay.
I do like big flan or like the big tres leches. I would love to learn. A goal personally would be to go to baking school and maybe to grow my business in that direction. But at the moment, I don't do that. I would love to, though.
All right. Well, there are some goals for you
Yes.
for the future. Thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate you sharing your story. And I'm really proud of you. I really am. I'm really proud of you. And just how you've taken a family business, branched off into finding your own space, and then making that so successful. I'd love to hear about it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for having me.
Now that was powerful. We hope you've been lifted and encouraged by today's inspiring voice. Always remember that life doesn't look exactly the same for each one of us. Never stop dreaming, striving, and thriving. In future episodes, we look forward to bringing you powerful stories from amazing women who learned how to lead in to challenges. Thank you for listening and being part of our community with SheEO host, Rebecca Jones.
The incredible curated SheEO conversation you just enjoyed was brought to you by SmartStop, a leader in self-storage real estate and a company that upholds its core principles of leading together, embracing change, and enhancing everyone's journey. To learn more about SmartStop, please visit smartstopselfstorage.com.
Cloudcast Media.